It was a night no one would ever forget. The wind howled through the trees, rain poured down in sheets, and lightning streaked across the sky. In the middle of this raging storm, a small boy was lost, cold, scared, and alone. But little did he know, a hero was on his way. This is the incredible story of Max, the brave dog who risked everything to bring a lost child home. The evening had started like any other. 7-year-old Ethan was playing outside near his home, chasing butterflies and laughing as his mother called him in for dinner. But curiosity led him farther than he intended, into the nearby woods. At first, everything seemed fine. But as darkness fell, the sky turned angry. The wind picked up, the rain began to pour, and soon, Ethan realized, he was lost. He called out for his mother, but his voice was swallowed by the storm. Back at home, panic set in. Ethan's mother, Sarah, frantically searched the yard, calling his name. Within minutes, neighbors joined the search, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. But the storm was relentless, making it impossible to see or hear anything beyond a few feet. Inside the house, Ethan's best friend, his golden retriever, Max, sensed something was wrong. He could hear the distress in Sarah's voice. He could smell the fear in the air. And then, he caught a faint, familiar scent on the wind. Ethan. Without hesitation, Max bolted out the door, his powerful legs carrying him through the rain and mud. He didn't need a flashlight, his nose was his guide. The storm raged on, but Max pressed forward, dodging fallen branches and leaping over puddles. He sniffed the ground, following Ethan's trail, his ears alert to the faintest sound. Then, he heard it. A small, trembling voice. Max. Ethan was huddled under a fallen tree, shivering, soaked to the bone. His tiny body shook with cold and fear. But the moment he saw Max, his eyes filled with relief. "You found me," he whispered, wrapping his arms around the wet fur of his best friend. But the danger wasn't over yet. The rain was getting heavier, and the temperature was dropping. Ethan was too weak to walk on his own. Max knew what he had to do. The brave retriever nudged Ethan, urging him to hold on. With all his strength, Max guided the boy, step by step, through the storm. Whenever Ethan stumbled, Max was there to steady him. Whenever he slowed down, Max barked encouragingly, refusing to let him give up. Meanwhile, search teams were scouring the woods, their voices calling out Ethan's name. But the storm drowned out their cries. Until a bark. A strong, desperate bark, cutting through the night like a beacon. The rescuers stopped. "Did you hear that?" one of them shouted. They ran in the direction of the sound, and there, emerging from the shadows, was Max, his golden fur drenched, his eyes filled with determination, leading Ethan safely home. As soon as Sarah saw her son, she collapsed to her knees, tears streaming down her face. She wrapped Ethan in her arms, holding him close, as Max stood beside them, panting but proud. "You saved him," she whispered, stroking Max's wet fur. "You're our hero." The entire town cheered. The story of Max's bravery spread far and wide, and soon, news channels were calling him a real-life hero. Ethan never forgot that night. He learned a valuable lesson about courage, friendship, and the unbreakable bond between a boy and his dog. Max didn't need words. He didn't need directions. He only needed love, and that was enough to lead him through the storm. Because sometimes, heroes don't wear capes. Sometimes, they have 4 paws, a wagging tail, and a heart big enough to save the world. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to share it. Because love, loyalty, and courage deserve to be remembered.